music identity.
All right, so now that we hopefully know the difference between audio and MIDI, hopefully, I just want to go through, basically how to add MIDI instruments or VST instruments to your project and how to use them to create your own melody that you can use in your project. Okay, so let's hop straight into that. Now, I've removed the VST instrument that I had here in the last part just for simplicity's sake, because we're gonna be adding our own right now. Now, there's several different ways to add a VST instrument, and I'm gonna try to show you most of them, or the ones that I know anyway. So, first of all, there is a new cool way of adding your VST instruments. If you click your middle mouse button, so basically if you can click your scroll wheel, you can do that. Make sure you hover your mouse over the background here and click your scroll wheel. You'll get this menu. And this has a lot of stuff. So let's say we want to go to like Synth Classic. So you'll see down here, it basically orders everything with these handy categories. So let's go to Synth Classic. Okay. There's some different options here. Some of these instruments are more or less advanced. Okay. So like the 3X is a pretty simple instrument. However, there isn't very much we can do with it, and we're not gonna be tweaking too much either. So even if the instrument looks advanced, you're gonna see that it's very simple to find the sound you're looking for, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, we saw harmless in the last part, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna choose citrus. So citrus is a very common instrument. I don't think it's included in every different version of FL Studio, but it's a very good one to have, as well as harmless is very good to have, but it's not included in every single version. But anyway, I'm going to open citrus. So the way I do it in this way is I just take it and drag it to the channel rack, and that's going to add it. If I were to, for example, drag citrus or anything else on top of something I already have, it's gonna replace it, okay? So that changed citrus out to SimSynth, but I'm gonna import citrus here again, like that, okay? Another way of doing the same thing is right-clicking the sound and go to either Insert to add a new instrument, or Replace to replace the current instrument that you just right-clicked. And here is a list of all the various instruments that I was looking at right before. And, there is another way, which is to go to Add, and you can basically either go to Channel and you have the same thing, and it's going to add a new instrument here, or you can go to View Plugin Picker through the menu here, and that's the same thing, but the quicker way is to just or middle click your mouse to get the same menu there. And I just middle click my mouse again to remove it, right? Okay, so with that out of the way, here's citrus. Now, you're probably wondering how to get sound out of this. How do you hear what it sounds like? Well, if you don't have a MIDI keyboard, what you could do is, if you look on the button right here, it says typing keyboard to piano keyboard. Basically what it does is, when you have this enabled, so when it's glowing bright, pretty blue like that, you're going to be able to basically use your regular keyboard to play it. Oh, hold on. Okay, excuse me for that. That was a little break. Someone just called me. Anyway, what you're going to do is, when that button is activated, you can use your regular keyboard to basically play it as, a keyboard. You can play notes, basically, with the instrument here. And what you also want to make sure is, you see how there's gray or green next to the instrument or the file here? You want to make sure that you have citrus picked there, chosen there. So you want citrus to be green like that. So now I press Q on my keyboard. That'll play a C note. I press W. That'll press or that'll play a D note. E will play a E note, right? So that's how you can play it. And, you know, you use the numbers instead of the, you know, if you, for example, press Q, you'll play a C. If you press 2, you'll play a C sharp. So, and you can play around with that to kind of learn how it all works. But that's a way to hear what it sounds like. Okay. So, now we have to get into something that I haven't really gotten into before, which is the patterns inside the channel rack. Now, there's a thing called the piano roll in FL Studio, and it's very important. It's what you're going to use basically anytime you wanna create a melody. You're going to use the piano roll. So what you do is you right-click Citrus in this example, because we want to make a melody with Citrus. So we're going to right-click it and press piano roll. That'll bring up this window for you. I'm going to double-click it to make it larger. I want to have it in full screen, just because that's the way I work usually. I'm going to zoom out. And you'll see I have a keyboard here on the left side. You can press the keys to play it. Alright, so you'll notice when you hover your mouse over the blank space in the piano roll, you have this pen. You have this pen as your mouse cursor. If you click anywhere, you'll add a note. Like that. Right click to remove, just as in the piano roll. Click to add, right click to remove. Okay. So what we can do is, let's say we want to make a melody, right? So I'm just going to do something fairly simple here. So let's see. Alright, so let's say that. And if we play now, this is going to loop. Oh, also another thing that may happen for you now is if you press play, you're probably going to be in song mode still. So you'll play anything that's in the playlist. That's what you're going to play now. So that's what's going to happen when you press play. But you want to listen to what you have in the channel rack, which in this case is pattern 1. Okay, so we want to listen to that. How do we do that? Well, the button up here that we were looking at in before in an earlier part here, the song or pattern mode. It's in song mode right now, so that's whatever is in the playlist. Pattern mode, it's gonna play whatever is in the channel rack at the moment. Okay, so if you press, we switch that to pattern mode, so it's gonna, it's gonna glow yellow when it's in pattern mode. If you press play now, it's gonna play the melody here. Okay, I'm also gonna lower the volume on that so that it's not so loud. Okay, so that's good. We have a melody, we have an instrument. Let's say we don't like the sound of Citrus right now. How do we change that? Well, I'm gonna click Citrus to open the window. Okay, so I click to open and close just as before. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this drop down menu here. And I'm going to go to presets, and it's going to open a massive list of various sounds that you can use here. Let's say we want like a bass sound. Let's go to Cerberus Saw, right? Cool. What you'll notice first of all, it's changed the name from Citrus to Cerberus Saw because we picked the sound called Cerberus Saw. So that's a cool feature. It changes the name to whatever sound you're using, right? If you play it now, it's going to sound drastically different. Alright. Cool. Let's say we don't like that. Let's pick something else. Say we want something a little more calm, like a guitar. Let's go to like acoustic nylon. So yeah, that's how you change the sound, right? And in different VST instruments, you're gonna find different kind of sounds. So if we replace this with, for example, Harmor, right? The one we were looking at in the last part. This instrument is gonna have some different sounds. So let's say we want like Rhodes, like keyboard Rhodes, okay? Very common sound. I like it. It's a very cool sound. Alright, so I hope you get the gist of it. This is how you make a melody. This is how you pick your instrument and make a melody with a MIDI instrument instead of audio loops, okay? And if we want to add another one, just right click, insert, pick whatever, like another citrus. We have Rhodes and citrus. We can, for example, pick whatever, like the Cerberus saw, lower the volume, open the piano roll. Let's like make, you know, something else out of it. So let's see how that sounds. All right, so now I have two instruments playing at the same time. So in the next part, I'm gonna go through how to create a basic drum pattern on your own. So not using a finished loop, but making your own drum loop, okay? I'm gonna go through that and also the basics between different patterns. So you can change patterns. I'm gonna go through that in the next part. After that, we're gonna make a song out of it. We're gonna lay them out in the playlist and make a song out of that. Okay. So I hope you're still with me so far. I hope it's not too complicated for you, and I hope I see you in the next part. Later.
Why does all the stars go black even when they seem to go on forever? Why does